Hey team, first video update of the year. I look forward to doing, taken an opportunity to do these each Thursday morning. I'll get them out with our life group questions. Today I want to do a quick why I lead a group, and then why I'm encouraged and thankful that you're leading a group, and why we're working on trying to launch new groups for really everybody that's interested in our church. And then lastly, we'll go over a couple of details. So first, why I lead a group. It's important, as we all know, to kind of have our why. Keeps us motivated, keeps us focused, helps us figure out what we're going to add to our groups and what we're not going to add to our groups, and sort of what we make a priority out of for our times together. And so one of the reasons I'm doing this for you, or bringing you into my own world, is that I want to encourage you to ask yourself this question as we jump in. What is my why? What are we doing this for? Now, we talk about the purposes of our groups, of our life groups, and I hope that your why is a part of one or all of those in different ways, but we want to move from those to really kind of our personal, this is why I'm in the game, so that both would be a balance. So why we do them, we talk about semi-regularly around here. We feel like our life groups are the single best place where relationships can grow, and where we can be known, where we can know others, and in that place we can get to know ourselves. We can be an encouragement to others as well, lifting them and encouraging them in their walk with Christ. And of course, that then leads us into the second place. We believe that it's in those relationships and in our circles that we have an opportunity to grow and to grow together in our relationship with our Father in heaven, and our understanding of what it is that Jesus has done for us. And then as we get to know him in relationship, certainly with others, the why isn't just that we're building relationships. It isn't just that we're growing. It's as a result of that the Spirit of God is, we're more aware of his work in our lives, his leading in our lives. And we as a group, we as an individual, we encourage each other to serve, to be people that serve, to be people that, like Christ did for us, we pour out ourselves in and for the world. And so those are kind of our big three whys, that we would be in relationship with each other, that this is a place where we can do that, and that we would grow in our relationship with Christ, ultimately, in our understanding of him and who he is and what he's done for us, and what he believes about us. And then lastly, that the Spirit of God would, in those places of community, be our guide, be our encouragement, as he pushes us out in the world to live out of our strengths, to live out of our gifts in a way that the world is a different place as a result of our individual efforts, but also our group efforts. That's our big kind of why, but what's mine? So I was thinking about this. We were listening to a devotional, my daughter and I, yesterday. We were actually reading it on the way to school, and they talked about a group of folks who had climbed Mount Everest or some huge mountain, and they brought a psychologist, sociologist along with them. And what he realized in writing about this sort of group climb was that on cloudy days, there was sort of lower morale. Overall, their physiology was different. Their heart rates were lower. They ate less. They weren't as kind of into or passionate about what they were up to. But when the sun came out, as our devotional author had picked up on, their heart rates came up. Their sense of excitement, they talked more. And it wasn't just because the sun was out, but because what the sun provided. And that was a view of the mountaintop. That was a view of where they were going, of why they were in the game, of sort of the hope of what was to come in front of them. And that's why I want us to think for a moment today about our why. What is it that God is asking us to do? And so certainly for me, I have a sense that God has planted us in this community. So I very much want to be a part of it. And part of that for me is filling my home with friends, with new friends, and seeking to invest in them, in a way that they make me better, in a way that we make our community better. And then when I think of my why, I think of the guys and the gals, mostly the guys, that are in our group now. And I think, years ago, they were different people. With most of them, I can remember a season when they were in and out of the church, mostly out, in kind of socially. But now I can look out at them on a Sunday morning. I see them connected. I see them reading the scriptures on their own. I see them, shooting me a text, encouraging me, walking with us through some things. I think of one of the guys in our group that really, really struggled in a season of his life. And because the relationship I had with him, as soon as I heard what was going on, I was on the phone. Not knowing what to say, not knowing exactly what God wanted, but knowing that I was in relationship and I was there called by God to, again, encourage him, to help walk with him, and just to watch that process of restoration happen in his own life. I want more of that. I know there'll be more. And so that's why I'm in groups. That's what the top of the mountain, if you will, looks like for me, for our group, that we would be in those kinds of relationships together, walking through the hard stuff, encouraging each other to be growing, and then also to watch our group serve together. What a fun blessing. We had a couple opportunities even just last year to combine our funds. God's blessed us in some cool ways, and combine funds and pour them out and make a difference in the world. How cool. How cool is that? So our big why, and we hope that as a part of your life group, that relationships are strengthened. We hope that as a part of your life group, people are growing in their relationship with God, and then ultimately who he wants them to be as a result of that, but what he wants them to be in this world as we contribute to his kingdom in a daily basis. So those are our big whys. And then for me, the top of the mountain, when the clouds clear and it isn't about another sort of night where we have something going on, or who's going to cook the food, or how are we going to pull this out, what are we going to do with our kids, it becomes about lives transformed and transformed together so that we get better together. And so for me, I'm excited about this season. I'm excited about what we have coming up with regards to our series, because I really believe that there's some really neat potential in this fall for that to happen in my life and in the lives around us. Real quick, we will be launching groups actually on September 16th. And for this first series, which Steve and I will be talking about in our other video, which is attached to this, we will put out the sermon-based questions. Again, those will actually come out on September 13th. And so our launch will be the 16th. You will be able to get questions on the 13th. And last year we printed them and had them available in the Welcome Center in the Commons. We'll do that for the first few weeks. If your groups want to grab them, awesome. We will, depending on what the questions look like, we will try, like as we did this summer, get them in the bulletin just for the help of your group. All the questions will not be in the bulletin, but we can usually get the sort of the core ones in there. It allows your group to kind of get going on that, and then we will email them out to you with one of these amazing videos each Thursday. At least that's our plan at this point, and hope that becomes a help for you. So feel free to email me, Nate at Sierra Bible. You can just respond to the email where this is attached if you have questions. Love to help your groups launch and live out your why, the reason that God's called you to leading a group in our community. And so thanks for listening. Again, have a great week. Appreciate you guys.